Hey, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to use a value ladder to basically differentiate yourself from the competition, stand out in today's crowded marketplace. And I'm not only going to show you what a value ladder is, why you need one in your business, I'm going to show you how to create one and how to use it to get clients and grow your business. So let's dive straight in. If you're new to the channel, my name is Rob and I help filmmakers just like you get clients with predictability. So subscribe right now to not miss another video and make sure you hit that bell. So the problem is today's marketplace is just very crowded and it's really hard to stand out. And everybody's just trying to sell you something, and you need to find a way to actually build trust and basically ascend people up that value ladder in your business. So here's how it looks. You basically have an X graph and then you have an Y graph. And the X graph represents the price and the Y graph represents the value that the customer is getting. So ideally, the item that you're selling with the highest price is also the one with the highest value, obviously, right? So let's say on the lower end, you have something like a lower ticket offer that's not providing as much value. So maybe just some simple interview recordings or just a simple 1 minute social media campaign, right? And then on the higher end, you have things like a full-on content retainer where your client pays you on a monthly basis to create all of their marketing material, for example. So you can't just pitch your highest priced offer right from the get-go when meeting somebody, right? At some networking event or whatever, or when just emailing somebody, right? You need to provide some kind of value in advance, right? You need to build up that trust with that prospect. They need to be able to trust you before actually going there and purchasing those higher priced things. And that's why it's essential to have something like a value ladder that you can ascend people through. And basically, the more value you provide, the more people want to hear from you, the more people want to actually pay you for your services, because they think, oh yeah, this was good, like this smaller project we did with him, that was good, let's go there back again, whatever, right? You want to ascend people up that value ladder and actually provide value in advance. Yet this is not what people do. People still try and shove their highest price offers down their prospects' throat just when meeting them, for example, right? And they don't realize that the actual money is made in the back end if you know your numbers. And if you haven't already, make sure you watch my customer lifetime value. That's also going to help you understand this concept a bit more, right? And it's the same with things like dating, right? You wouldn't go to like, let's say your spouse or your wife, like you wouldn't go to her on the first date and ask her like, will you marry me, right? You gotta like kind of ascend them up that value ladder as well. You gotta actually build that relationship, build up that rapport, build up that trust with a person, right? And it's the completely same thing in business, but yet people completely forget this or don't treat it like there's another human being on the other end of the screen, right? So when creating any kind of marketing in terms of actual marketing campaigns on Facebook, for example, or Google pay-per-click ads, and actually copywriting on your website, when doing any of that, you need to think about like, why would anybody choose you, right? What's in it for them? What's the actual value that you're providing to them, right? So you can't just ask somebody like to give me your email, right? Or sign up for a newsletter. Like, why would I, right? You need to make me care, right? Actually provide value. So if you do like wedding photography, for example, do a free guide on like how to choose your wedding photographer with all the bells and whistles, and just do that as like a PDF download, for example, like an ebook or a video guide, for example. Or again, if you do real estate work, like you can do an article or a video or a training guide on how to get the best prices for your properties, how to create the best kind of visual content to sell your properties as fast as possible, for example, right? Get to know your target market, get to know their problems, and actually solve their problems and provide value in advance. And then you can offer things like a free video consultation, for example, right? So people can go and book a call with you and you actually consult them on what's the best kind of choice, right? And at the end of that process, at the end of watching that free guide, for example, you're going to be seen as the expert, right? And who are they going to hire? You, of course. And you might be thinking like, I just spent all of that time doing this stuff for free, right? But that's the value ladder. That's the first step. You just ascended them on the first step. They signed up with their email to get that free guide. Now they're consuming it. Now you're seen as the expert in that field, and you can then place a relevant offer in front of them. So that could be like the free video consultation, for example, or having like a discount, or shoot like a social media video for free, like something like that, like added bonus, of course. Like, don't just work for free. unless you're getting started maybe, then you can use this value ladder in a like really awesome way to get started as well, right? But make sure that you map out specific actual steps in that process where you actually provide more value, and at the same time you increase your price for that type of service, right? And try and map out something like this for your type of business. So this happens everywhere, right? You can have things like upsells even. So when you're trying to buy a drone on the DJI store, what are they going to try and do? They're going to try and sell you like the freaking kit with all the 2 extra batteries and all of that stuff, and the freaking case, and of course you're gonna buy that then. So that's something called an upsell, right? And this doesn't just work with online businesses or online sales funnels, right? And if you haven't already, make sure you watch that video on sales funnels I did. But this also works for any type of offline business. So a gym, for example, could offer something like a 7-day free trial, right? And from there on, the sales people are gonna go onto them and eventually close some of them into a membership, right? And eventually some of them maybe even book the personal training on top, right? And then on top they might even have another offer, right? And they keep ascending people up that value ladder, and that's how you get people into your business basically, right? Okay, but how can you build one for your own business? So first up, you can think about all of the types of services that you can offer, right? So things like maybe a 1-minute social media video, or just some photos maybe even, right? If you're a single content creator. And things like a mini documentary or interviews, testimonials, product videos. Like, what are all the different types of services that you can offer up until the very high end? So things like full-on content retainers, right? So, or in my case, that would be the highest one would be the like agency retainers, so full on done for you marketing campaigns, for example, right? As those yield the highest return on investment usually. And obviously also map out your sales funnel and sales process that you want to guide your prospects through until they eventually end up as a paying client, right? And at that point, how can you ascend them through your business from being a paying client up the value ladder until eventually paying for your highest tier service, right? And when mapping out your sales funnel and value ladder, always think about what do you want from your prospects and what value can you provide in return? How can you build up that trust? How can you build up that rapport with them? And how can you send them up that value ladder, right? So at first you might just be asking for their email address, right? But you can't just straight up ask like, give me your email address, right? You got to provide value for them. So in exchange for that email, for example, you could give them that free guide, right? And then the next step, what's that? That may be to book a phone call with you, right? To leave their phone number, to schedule a call with you. And what can you give them in return? The free video consultation, for example, right? And map out that process and think about what is that lowest tier thing that you can maybe even give away for free or at a huge discount. And this doesn't even need to be a service, as I said. It can be like a free guide, for example, or even something like right now consuming free content on YouTube. That could also be the lowest step on the value ladder as well, right? So map out this exact process for your business and understand that it's all just about adding value and building trust with your prospects, right? A good business can barely break even or even make a loss on the front end. And if they know their numbers, they can reap all of the benefits later, right? And this is why it's freaking crucial to know your numbers. So if you haven't already, check out my video on customer lifetime value right there. And let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about this, what you want to see next on the channel. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell to not miss the next video. And let me know if you need any help with this. This is what I do, and I'll see you in the next video.